Cleveland Browns and an unexpected plan with Shedeur Sanders and the other quarterbacks while they still don't know who their starter will be. The Cleveland Browns are experiencing an unusual situation in the NFL. Possibly the only team where 4 players are competing for the starting quarterback position, and this battle is far from over. Given this scenario, it has long been speculated that the team will not keep all the players in the quarterback department for the start of the regular season, though the franchise could surprise. Shedeur Sanders, staying or leaving. The Browns' general manager, Andrew Berry, recently hinted at the possibility of keeping all 4 names. We've largely looked at the last 5 spots of a roster as more developmental spots, and that could come from any position, Berry said, via team transcript. I also think with the roster flexibility nowadays, especially with the elevations that you're able to have on the practice squad, there's just more flexibility in terms of how to build your 48-man game day roster, where it's maybe not as quite as restrictive as in the past. If there are 4 that are 53-man worthy, and we think it makes the most sense for us to keep, then we will. The quarterback group consists of veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, along with rookies Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. A large majority assumes that Flacco will win the starting role, though nothing is set in stone. During the most recent NFL draft, Cleveland made the decision to select 2 quarterbacks. Gabriel was chosen in the 3rd round, while Sanders had to wait until the 5th round. Analysts and experts believe that Shedeur Sanders could eventually become the starter within the Browns franchise, but others think the team should pursue another QB the following year. Cleveland Browns quarterback Kenny Pickett is expected to miss time due to a hamstring injury reportedly sustained during a red zone drill late in Saturday's practice, according to a person familiar with the situation. The team was off on Sunday, and head coach Kevin Stefanski is expected to provide an update before Monday's padded practice, the first of training camp. Pickett will be re-evaluated later this week. The Browns will practice Monday through Wednesday, rest Thursday, and return to the field Friday and Saturday. The sky over Berea was restless that morning, gray clouds drifting like questions with no answers. Inside the Cleveland Browns training facility, the atmosphere was just as unsettled. Coaches huddled in whispered meetings. Reporters waited for scraps of clarity. Players tied their cleats in silence, eyes darting toward the quarterback corner where 4 men sat in varying moods of focus, frustration, and fire. Shedeur Sanders tapped his playbook with the back of his pencil. He was the enigma, the rookie with raw brilliance, the kid who could turn broken plays into magic. Across from him sat Joe Flacco, calm and calculating, leaning back in his chair like a man who had already seen his future. Beside them, Dorian Thompson-Robinson scrolled through film clips on his tablet, silent but competitive. And Dillon Gabriel, another wild card, spun a football between his hands, trying to hide the nervous energy in his leg bouncing against the chair. For quarterbacks, zero clarity. And yet, the Browns coaching staff had devised something utterly unexpected. The meeting room filled with the scent of coffee and dry erase markers. Head coach Kevin Stefanski stood before the whiteboard, marker in hand, grinning like a man with a secret. "Gentlemen," he began, "we don't have a starter yet." A few players exchanged glances. Reporters perked up. "We've got 4 quarterbacks with unique skill sets, and instead of forcing ourselves into one identity, we're going to lean into the chaos." He clicked a slide on the projector. The screen lit up with diagrams that made even veteran assistants raise their eyebrows. "Meet," Stefanski said, tapping the board, the quad package. The plan was insane. Revolutionary. Maybe reckless. Instead of picking one starter, the Browns were designing an offense that could rotate all 4 quarterbacks, not as gimmicks, but as weapons. Shedeur with his quick reads and deep strikes. Flacco with his steady command and veteran eyes. DTR with his scrambling creativity. Gabriel with his college-honed RPO instincts. "You're serious?" offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt whispered after the meeting. "Deadly serious," Stefanski replied. "Defenses won't know what's coming. One series it's Flacco commanding a pro-style drive. Next series, Shedeur rolls out and launches 40 yards over their heads. Then we bring in DTR on a read option look. We'll keep them guessing until they're dizzy." On the practice field, the experiment began. Flacco took the first snaps, methodical as ever. Then Shedeur came in, shifting the tempo, play action, bootleg, a strike over the middle. The defense scrambled, shouting calls, struggling to adjust. Moments later, Gabriel sprinted onto the field, running an up-tempo spread, pitching a quick screen, darting back into the huddle. DTR closed the set with a wild scramble that left defenders grasping air. Players began to smile. Coaches exchanged raised eyebrows. Reporters scribbled furiously in their notebooks. "Coach," one lineman laughed as he jogged off the field. "Are we building an offense or a circus?" "Both," Stefanski shot back. "And the NFL won't know how to stop it." But for Shedeur, the plan was more than strategy. It was salvation. He had feared being buried behind Flacco, reduced to a clipboard and headset. Now he had a pathway, a chance to show what he could do in live action. Late one night, after everyone else had gone home, he stayed in the film room with Van Pelt. "Coach," Shedeur said, eyes locked on the screen. "If we're rotating, how do I stand out? How do I make them want me every drive?" Van Pelt smirked, clicking through clips. "Easy. You make your snaps undeniable. When you're in, make it look like the future. Force them to dream bigger." Shedeur nodded, writing it down. Force them to dream bigger. By the second preseason game, the quad package had leaked to the media. Pundits called it madness. "You can't rotate quarterbacks in the NFL," one analyst scoffed on live TV. "This isn't college football. It's a recipe for disaster." But when the Browns took the field, they showed flashes of something wild and new. Flacco opened with a 7-play drive, sharp and clean. On the next series, Shedeur entered to an anxious murmur in the crowd. He took the snap, rolled right, dodged a defender, and hurled a perfect spiral 40 yards downfield. The receiver snagged it over his shoulder, and the stadium roared. 2 drives later, Gabriel executed a triple option that left linebackers flat-footed. DTR followed with a scrambling touchdown that sent the sideline into a frenzy. By halftime, social media was ablaze. Browns might be onto something wild. Shedeur looks electric. Who needs one starter when you can have 4?